What's up, guys? We got a new video for you today, bright and early at the Wallace Farm and Sawmill. It is first thing in the morning, and late last night we got into a little bit of work, and we got our first beam set on our house addition project.
Yep.
So I'm gonna show you that, but let me tell you guys what the point of today's video is. It's finally that time. We are gonna start the CIRCLE Sawmill restoration and fixing up a few little parts. It's not really a restoration per se, it's just fixing up some things that have been neglected for a long time, aka the sawdust pit. I'm tired of that thing backfilling with water. We've spoke about it before, but just a brief synopsis. It's too deep, it fills with water all the time. We're gonna backfill that thing and stop that. This has been a problem for years, so we think we got the solution. We're gonna try to fix it. We're gonna take down the whole overhead dust chain system. We're gonna install a new system of some sorts. We're still kind of undecided for sawdust removal. And we're gonna upgrade a few bits and pieces along the way. This video will be a multi-part series because it's just gonna take a while to do all these things. You're gonna have to buy parts and pieces and fix and this and that. Today, we're gonna get it opened up and maybe remove some stuff from the dust drag system, maybe. So that's the plan. Now I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you guys the first beam set, and we got 7 more beams to go. So there is beam number 1 set in place. You can see the little inset there, and anyway, first beam set in place. 7 more to go, all down through there. We used the old Kubota tractor last night to set that beam, so we gotta now take the unfortunate, look, this is the dreaded machine. I don't like running this machine. I don't think most people do. But we got to get the weed eater out because the old circle saw over there needs some weed eating around some bits and bobs. So that's the first thing we're going to do, guys. Now, if I could only teach baby how to run that weed eater. Let's get her started this morning.
Has it got gas?
Let me tell y'all something. It's funny. I use a lot of steel products. I use Husqvarna products. I don't know about Husqvarna weed eaters. I do know about steel weed eaters. I do know about steel chainsaws. You have to pull.
Thing is so grown up right now. But we're supposed to get that fixed.
Safety first.
Good old Wood-Mizer safety glasses. They're orange. Now we just gotta hope we don't run into any critters or any wasps or anything like that. Tyler's gonna finish weed eating over here. I'm gonna head and get the actual lawnmower so I can drive up under there and get everything all cleaned up so we can get to work on that sawmill.
Nobody that. Mow all the way around through the sections that she can. That's already much better. Through here, I'm gonna finish weed eating around the backside of the tracks. So about 20 minutes and we'll have her open back up.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring the motor with us too. See if we can get under some stuff with it. We're going to take a break in our cleaning because Mr. Charlie just pulled up, and let me turn this around and show you what he's got today. He has brought in some cedar beams that he wants resawn, so that's what we are going to do for right now. Charlie's going to go ahead and get them unloaded.
You'd only cut them if they were dead, and they would be 200 feet tall. Anyway, he would lay them down, and they would cut them into short blocks, and they would just stair step down the log, and then they'd take those blocks to the mill, and they would cut them into shingles.
Short shingles.
Short shingles.
I bet they split easy.
They split really.
They look like they would split easy.
But they did them with a bandsaw. They split some of them, and some of them the final time with a bandsaw.
You ever seen those little circle saw rigs with the you set the block up there and it shoots the shingle off?
Yeah, they have.
That's pretty cool.
But anyway, this is the real nice wood. Comes out of Canada mainly now, because we can't cut it legally in the U.S.
So this
most
is
of it
probably
comes out
from
of Canada.
So this is probably imported, right?
It's probably imported. Yeah.
Okay. West. So what is it currently right now?
It's 6 by 8.
6 by 8.
So I just want you to split it.
We're gonna split them right down the middle, so you get 2 4 by 6.
So we get 2. We oversized our pergola and decided that this would be a better size for us. So we're just taking what we had and making 2 out of it.
Well, you get double the material.
Yeah,
You're doubling everything.
We can make a bigger pergola, right?
Yeah. You can make a bigger pergola.
Yeah.
They smell funny. Definitely a different smelling wood than what we're used to.
Loading up the decks for the next cut.
Do they plane out well?
Yeah, they plane out nicely. We got a bunch already planed, not this side.
You know, you think about the different lumbers you can lift with whatever, you know, when they say how much lumber can you lift. You can lift a lot more board feet of this
Yeah.
than you can, say, white oak, for example, because of the
this
density.
is for you. Yeah, this is couldn't do this with the white oak.
No. I don't think even you and I would want to be handling them like this. But with these, it's just simple.
This is more up here.
You know, another board lesson me and Brittany have learned carrying a lot of boards together. If you got longer lumber, and say you drop that, but if you only have 1 or 2 boards, you drop your end, it can spring and pop.
Yeah.
So we went from 9 beams to 18 beams just like that.
You got one knot right here you can cut out. Turn it up and cut that knot out. See that? You got more knot on this side than you do this side.
All right, get this side there.
Well, would you look at there? There's a sawmill in the midst of the weeds. No weeds left, that little pile over there, but that whole pile of sawdust is about to leave. You can see all of the tracks, the ways, the carriage, the husk, the saw, the mandrel, and there is the big old 371 Detroit. So here's the conclusion that I have come to. If you wear orange glasses for a extended period of time and you take them off, guys, it looks weird outside. I do not like orange safety glasses. It's not that I feel like they look weird or crazy or anything like that. It's just the color when you take them off. Wow.
I know there was a blue cord, and he said, pick up the green cord there. And I'm like, that's not a green cord, that's blue.
Well, if you put this orange on and look, it looked green. So we got a bunch of cleanup done. Now let's show you guys what we have left to do today. The only thing I have left to do today, Mrs. Brittany, is this.
What is that?
Overhead system of sawdust chain dust removal system. I want to remove the walls of this system. I want to remove the overhead portion of that and expose the problem, what lies below, and I'll show you now. We are in the absolute hottest and driest part of our year. It is as dry can be. Everything out here is dry and powder. That's water. And it's about 8-9 feet of it. So, we have got the daunting task that we have put off for a long time, Brittany.
I know it.
Of removing, look at my pointer I got here. I'm going to remove all of this overhead system out, which is then going to expose this pit. Once this is exposed, I should be able to get the excavator, hopefully, extremely close through this location right here to this, to maybe even make a couple scoops alongside this, and then it's going to be some scooping by hand and some rubber boots and all that. We have got to get all of this out. All of this out. Then we will be backfilling that with clay gravel up to a point at which we want the new level to be, which is nowhere near 8 foot, probably 1 foot to 2 foot underneath the saw, and then flatten that off where we will never have that much. Again, my grandfather did build this big concrete pit, and I reinstalled his mill on it 11 years after he sawed it, when I completely rebuilt this thing, and Brittany and I made our living on this sawmill for 2 years. This was the sawmill we had, and we made a living on it for 2 years, so it's great. But Pop, as we like to call him, had a problem with this sawdust having a lot of water in it, and I believe it's just we have a low ground level here. In the wintertime, you dig a post 2 foot in the ground, and it will backfill its own self with water. That's probably the problem that we're experiencing here, is the leaching of water back in there, because I've even went out here and poured a concrete dam to keep the water from coming from the outside in, but I am pretty much convinced that it is water coming from the ground seeping in. The best way to fix that is going to be to backfill it with dirt and move the chain drag system up higher in the water level, and then be able to do that. So, Brittany, I got to get on the tractor, and I've got to move that entire pile, and then we're going to get this removed. So I might go do some of this while Brittany Ann goes and removes some of these boards and picks up a few pieces of random paints and bobs, things that have ended up here. So let's do that.
One board's down. We're gonna work on that. Tyler's over here scooping old sawdust. It broke. So we're getting 2 jobs done at one time. Aiden's getting this taken off. Tyler's out there doing the sawdust. Mama's helping. Tyler put the tractor up and went ahead and got the mini excavator out. It does a lot better at pulling up these trees, brush, whatever that is. We had all these logs stacked over here for firewood, and then Mother Nature just takes over. Everything is definitely starting to look better around here. Gotta get that chain system down. And you can see right up here, the box where the chain goes. We gotta get that all taken down. So I was trying to get all this cleaned up a little bit on the outer edge so we can get around to it and fix this chain dust system.
We're wondering, does the old 371 Detroit still run? The charged battery overnight still runs fine. So, pretty loud. They got that tore down. Got that moved, mostly. All right, guys, we did get the whole walls out. Got most of the sawdust pile moved now. It's time to take down the last little bit of this tower situation, and then we are going to start scooping out. That's going to be the worst part of the whole build.
It definitely
is going to be scooping that out and then backfilling that with dirt. But at least we're open back up around here to get to everything. We did fire it up. Everything still runs perfect. Saw still stands up great. Tension's good. I mean, it literally could have a sharpening, and I could saw a log right now. But the problem is, I would be shoveling sawdust a lot, and that is something that we have to get. I mean, literally, for this mill to just run and operate, it needs a sawdust system. You know, that's it as far as that goes.
Yeah, because you do not realize, if you don't run a circle mill, you do not realize how much sawdust it makes in just one pass. Well,
you're double the kerf, 1/8 on a saw, on a bandsaw, and then you're a quarter here. So, you know, twice the amount of sawdust, I guess.
Yeah.
1/8 versus a quarter. So that is the truth of it. And you do make a lot of sawdust, and you have to shovel a lot of sawdust. We used to shovel a lot of sawdust at the band mill, come to think of it, but the blower system was installed, and we no longer have to shovel sawdust. And we don't want to shovel sawdust. So we got to figure out how I'm going to go about that. I don't know if I'm going to go back with the chain and redo the system in some kind of way. I don't know if I'm going to do some type of blower. It's really up in the air at the moment. If you want to, guys, and you got experience with one of these mills, then comment down below and give us your ideas. I may stay with the chain and just change around the way the system itself is made to work here with this pit. And definitely going to backfill it because we can't have the water anymore. Matter of fact, the saw at the moment, even though it's, you know, full to where it is, see the saw down there is still 12 inches from touching anything. I mean, so long story short, where you see the top of it right now, I could literally backfill it with dirt to that top foot. It does not need to be as deep as he had it. So we're gonna look into that. We're gonna fix that problem. That is gonna do it for the first video of this restoration process of getting this thing back in working order. And then we're gonna be shooting bunches of videos over here running this sawmill for you guys. We did have Mr. Charlie come through this morning, and we had that western red cedar that we had to cut down. It was some beams he had purchased at a local lumber store, and we had to resaw those. That was pretty neat.
That was neat. We've never saw those before.
No, they smell weird.
They did smell weird.
It's a different smelling log. That's not what our southern noses are used to down here. If you were in the Pacific Northwest or anywhere up in Canada or wherever they grow those trees, you just tell us if you find those to be peculiar smelling. You may find southern yellow pine to be peculiar smelling. Anyway, that'll do it for this one. If you enjoyed this and you want to see the sawmill rebuild and putting this thing back on the channel and running some logs through it, comment down below and let us know. It will help boost us in the algorithm, and we will thank you for that. That will do it. Until next time.
See ya.
Bam.